I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on GBN, we're diving into a powerful book. It is called The Scrolls of the Bonefairy Castle. It is an imaginative, action-packed fantasy adventure written by a terrific author by the name of David Spiegel. When young Hunter asks a simple question about his ancestry, he unlocks an epic legacy involving magic, scrolls, and a mission that could save the human race. With magical allies and a powerful queen at the center of it all, this thrilling tale will capture the hearts of young readers and fantasy lovers alike. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Dave, thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
This is such an imaginative and inventive book. Where did you come up with the idea?
Well, the word bone fairy was something that I've never heard before, and it just hit me that I needed to do something with that word.
Hmm.
Everybody I ever asked, have you ever heard this word before? Nobody could ever answer that. I said, all right, I got to do something with it. And a friend of mine told me, if you ever want to do something with that word, they said, you need to make it a video game.
Hmm.
And I said, really? I said, all right, well, a video game could be anything that you want it to be. So I went ahead and I contacted a company and we proceeded to make a video game. And we did make a video game.
Hmm.
And as time went on, I had to add different things to the video game, different levels of the game. And after I thought about that, and I'm writing all these different notes down for the game and stuff. Well, the game you had to travel through a maze of different things and wind up at a castle.
Mhm.
So that's what led me to taking all my notes and start writing a book. And I said, why not write a book?
Hmm.
And I've never done this before, so I went ahead and started writing and writing and writing. And the more I started doing this, the more I got enthused about what was happening. And I finally finished the book and had it published. And everyone that I know, and I happen to know quite a few people around the country,
Mhm.
and they all, because I guess because they know me, they purchased the book and they all got back with me and said, when's the next book coming out? And I am writing the second book. I'm in the process of doing that, which will be a continuation of the first book. And that's basically pretty much where I'm at. I never thought anything this would ever happen, but I'm glad that it did.
Yeah, yeah, it's an exciting chapter in your life, no doubt. It is an unusual word, bone fairy. Where did you first hear the word?
I'm not even real sure.
Yeah.
I heard it, I can't remember where I heard it from, but I'm the kind of guy that I don't cuss a lot. Okay, I that's just the way I was brought up.
Yeah.
And the girl that told me to make it a game, uh, she used to start calling me that. She said, "You're a bone fairy." Well, who knows what that is? I said, "I'm a bone fairy." And if you know Johnny Cash or you've heard of him,
Uh,
but he wrote a book, or no, he wrote a song called Egg Sucking Dog. You probably don't know that, or maybe you do know that, but he did write a song called Egg Sucking Dog. So every time I saw this girl, I would go up to her and I say, "You're a bone fairy egg sucking dog." And that's how this whole thing started. So from then on, when I saw this lady, she said, "You're the number one bone fairy." And I said, "Okay." And that's just kind of what led to it. So I had to do something with it.
That's funny. That's funny. When I was brought up, we were told not to cuss, also, of course,
Right.
because we should use more imaginative words. So you
Sure.
certainly have done that, and it has rewarded you in spades, no doubt. So that's great. Um, did that video game ever get built?
Yes. I have it on one of my old phones. and I can play it right now, but because of the expense that it took to, once it was up and running, it was worldwide.
Mm.
And you could download it from anywhere in the world. But as time went on and I wanted to make more levels, it's kind of like Candy Crush. If you've heard of Candy Crush,
Mm.
the game, it's a lot like that. And it has different levels. I think I had about 100 levels of my game. But to continue going more, the the game company wanted more money, obviously, to do more levels. And then I said, I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm making this game, and everybody can play the first half a dozen levels. But then when I asked for a nickel or something to continue, everybody just kind of stopped. And I told this company, I said, I can't keep throwing money out and not get anything back. So I said, I'm done. I'm just done with it. So then I lost the servers and he took it off my website. But need be, I'm sure that I could get, because I have the game
Right.
on my phone, I'm sure that I could get somebody to do something and get it right back up and running again.
To reboot it in case
Sure.
merchandise like that is needed and the book gets
Sure.
real popular. Have you envisioned the Scrolls of the Bone Fairy Castle as a film, perhaps, or a TV series?
Oh, yes, many, many times. And not because it's mine. It's
Mm.
just as I was doing the book, I could envision everything about it. It's kind of like a Robin Hood type of thing, and where he's an adventurer and he's running around in a castle that has secret passages and and then make believe characters like dragons and fairies and all of this. And he has a pet dragon, this hunter. He finds a dragon egg, and eggs don't hatch if they don't get warm, like
Mm.
a chicken egg. You have to get them
Yeah.
warm before they're going to hatch. So he found this big old dragon egg, and it was probably twice the size of a basketball. And he met some of the fairies at the castle, and the fairies were telling him, "Well, what do you do with an egg? If you want it to hatch, you got to get it warm." So he did. He went and got some heat lamps and got the egg warm. And the next thing you know, out comes this baby dragon, and he only knows Hunter. So now he's his best friend, and that dragon gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and he's a friend of his. And it's just your imagination just runs, and it's great.
It is great. And I think it would be a terrific either series of films or a TV series
Sure.
because of the characters, the locales, and of course the original story as well. Is there a message you hope readers take away from the book?
I really don't know. I've talked to some friends of mine that have read the book, and they said they couldn't put the book down. They said they had to keep reading it. They couldn't put it down because one thing led to another, and one thing led to another, and they just couldn't put it down. And I thanked them, but I never thought a whole lot about it.
Who's your target audience for the book?
Well, in the book, Hunter met a girl who was running a tavern.
Mhm.
And behind the tavern was a vineyard. And she made wine and she sold this wine at tavern.
Mhm.
So I thought about that. So in my website, bonefairy.com, you'll see some wine that I have produced. And I said, doggone it, my target audience can't be grade school kids, even though they might like the animation. But if I'm gonna go with a video game and maybe see what I can do with this wine, I'm thinking more like high teens and 35, 40 years old because I'd like this wine to take off.
Mhm.
So it's probably between 20 and 40.
Right, right. And I think people younger, of course, would enjoy it as well. And people older, of course, would enjoy it. Almost like Harry Potter. It's got
Right,
universal
exactly.
appeal.
Sure.
It's not really young adult fiction. It's kind of just fiction that young adults happen to like because they relate to all the fantasy elements of it. And who are your influences? Was it people like Harry Potter and so forth?
Well, there's a movie out about a dragon now, and
Mhm.
I've watched it a couple of times, and I got some ideas off of that. And there's I've got, different friends of mine that give me different ideas, and I just I mean, my book starts out like uh Gladiator, where Gladiator is fighting a big war. Well, that's the way my book starts out, basically, and he's fighting a war, and he's this Sir Hunter is the ancestor of the young boy who's adventurous. And Sir Hunter, if you go back into medieval times, uh, was fighting wars, and he was basic. And the queen at the castle wanted Sir Hunter to take clothing and body parts of people that were killed in the war and bring them back to the castle, to the queen, so she could get DNA off of
Mm.
the clothing and the people. And she wrote all this stuff down in scrolls behind closed doors. And this is what the queen wanted the young hunter to do once he discovered the castle and they met. She wanted him to learn what was in the scroll so he could pass everything down and start a company that had to do with DNA.
Mm.
And that's led to a lot to this. And I said, as time goes on, maybe from medieval times all the way up until maybe the year 3000, not a lot of people know anything about DNA, but I know DNA is out there and you use it for different reasons. So I'm kind of going in that direction on my second book about DNA and clones and robots and different worlds and everything. So I'm still in the middle of that, so it'll be fun.
Well, it's wonderful. The world building that you're doing is just terrific. The sequel to this sounds like it's going to be just as wonderful as the original. The name of the book we've been focusing on today is The Scrolls of the Bonefairy Castle, a fantastical family-rooted adventure that uncovers powerful secrets and timeless courage. Dave, thanks so much for joining us here today.
It was my pleasure. Glad to have you.
I appreciate your wit, your wisdom, and your insight. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford for the Global Book Network. So long for now.